Hey, College Classic Campus Hits. You want to join me? Come on in. What we're doing here is we're reading God's Devil, and it's by Dr. Erwin Lutzer, and it's forwarded by Dr. R.C. Sproul. Okay, we left off at God's response. That's going to be short. It's not going to be long, because the serpent was judged comes next. So we're going to do God's response, yes? And Adam and Eve were judged. God was prepared for this hour, and he kept his promise. And Adam and Eve were judged. On the day they ate, they died. Death is both a process and a crisis. As a process, death began the moment Adam and Eve ate the fruit. In other words, they started to die. And though it took 1,000 years, 900 years, 1,100 years for them to die, they died. They no longer lived forever in the garden. They were billions, hundreds of millions of years old, and they didn't know it. And they gave it all up for lust. Adam and Eve ate the fruit, and when this process was complete, it would end in a crisis. Their souls would be separated from their bodies. But something worse happened. Man's soul was also separated from God. Adam and Eve and their descendants lost their reference point. Just as surely as a light is unplugged from its socket, Adam and Eve woke up to find a barrier of shame between them and God. Now, a lot of people think that Adam and Eve were procreating in the garden, and that there was no pain involved in having children. She had them. A lot of people believe that. And then other people believe that Adam and Satan were both getting her pregnant, having children. Because Cain and Abel, and the way God tells him, your father was a murderer from the beginning of time. You were a murderer from the beginning of time, you and your father. And he calls his father, Satan. So a lot of people take that and they say, oh, was the devil and Adam taking turns on her? Now that they're friends, now that they're sharing, it's not so innocent. I really know this. I know that God Almighty created us to love one another. And that's what we do. And I don't believe there's love there. They now knew good and evil by an unsettled, awakened conscience. Separated from God, they became separated from one another. They covered themselves with fig leaves to hide from each other and from God. They even felt an internal separation. The soul separated from itself. They would live as restless creatures in a turbulent world. And we know that because when God came to the cool of the day, he was looking for Adam and Eve, and he said, Adam, where are you? And he said, I hid myself because I'm naked. I said, oh, well, how do you know that? You must have eaten from the fruit tree that I told you not to eat from. And God, judging by how sweet he is, wasn't going to call it by anything else but that. How sweet God is. No cussing in heaven, you know. No abbreviations. Just a fruit tree. It's College Classic Campus Hits. God bless.